Alright, hello everyone. I want to talk to you today about the production possibilities curve, or as some books call it, the production possibilities frontier. This also talks about the concepts of opportunity cost and marginal analysis. For this example, we're going to have three plots of land. We've got the north plot, central plot, and south plot of land in which a farmer can grow either rice or soybeans. So if this farmer decided to grow all rice and no soybeans, the total amount of rice this farmer would produce would be the 10 plus the 20 plus the 50 would be 80 tons of rice, which would be a point right here on this PPC curve. However, on the other hand, if this farmer was to grow all soybeans instead of the rice, then the quantity would be 20 tons of soybeans, another 20, and another 20. And it'd be a point over here on his horizontal axis at 60. So this is the maximum output that can be produced with the limited resource here of the land. So what if the farmer wants to grow something in between? Let's pretend the farmer's growing all rice. And the next year it wants to grow 20 tons of soybean. So we have to decide, okay, which one of these plots of land does the farmer give up to grow soybeans? If he gives up plot south, the farmer will lose 50 tons of rice. Plot central, the farmer will lose 20 tons of soybeans. And for plot north, lose 10. So the opportunity cost is least for the plot north. So here, the farmer would decide to grow soybeans because he loses the fewest or least amount of rice. So what we have here is, we would say, okay, the maximum was, we had 80, but now we're going to get 20 tons of soybeans, so now we're going to give up 10 tons of rice to get to 20 tons of soybeans. So how do we show this on this graph? It will be a line starting out at one point has 80 tons of rice, and down here is 0 soybeans. But now we have it that we're having 20 tons of soybeans, and what's left is the 70 tons of rice. So that would be a point right here. So the opportunity cost to grow the first 20 tons of soybeans would be 10 tons of rice. But now let's say next year they want to grow another 20 tons of soybeans. Well, does it give up plot south or plot central? Well, in this case, it'll be plot central because they give up the least amount of rice to get the soybeans. So we give up rice, grow the soybeans. And so now to get the 20 tons, we don't give up 10 tons of rice, we give up 20 tons of rice. So that would be a line such as this. So what's left is, now we have 50 tons of rice being produced by plot south and 40 tons of soybeans produced by the plot north and the plot central. So now, if we want to grow all soybeans, we need another 20 tons. We only have one to pick from, so now we have to give up 50 tons of rice to get the same 20 tons of soybeans. And so therefore, the plot will look like this. So notice what you have is an actual curve. This is curving. Why does it curve? Because each plot of land has a different ability to produce the grains, and so therefore we have this curve. So maybe the south plot has more water in it than the north plot. And so what you'll notice is as the farmer decides to grow more soybeans, they give up the least amount of rice first, and that's called the opportunity cost. But the opportunity costs are increasing. Notice for the first 20 tons of soybeans, the farmer only has to give up 10 tons of rice. For the next 20 tons of soybeans, they have to give up 20 tons of rice. And for the last 20 tons of soybeans, he has to give up 50 tons of rice. That's a lot of rice. That's a lot of opportunity cost. So this would be the PPC for this farmer for these plots of lands, and this represents the maximum output of the two produce that he can produce. Can he produce somewhere inside here, such as at 40 and 30? Yes, but that would be inefficient. Is the farmer able to produce out here? No, they're limited. Doesn't matter how much demand for the rice or soybeans there are, there's no way to produce at that level. However, imagine if they got new fertilizer or new farm equipment. That would shift the PPC outward to the right and therefore could produce more of both of the products, but yet still has limitations based upon the amount of land. So the marginal analysis piece of this is saying, okay, if we need to grow 20 tons more of soybeans, how much rice must we give up? Well, if you're not growing any soybeans, you only have to give up 10 tons of rice. But if you're already growing 20 tons of soybeans, to get the next 20, you have to give up 20 tons of rice. If you're already growing 40 tons of soybeans, you need the next 20, you have to give up 50 tons of rice. So the opportunity costs are increasing as we go along the curve.